I'm sorry. Now, before moving forward to create the features for battery, because when I was just analyzing the images, you can see this is the battery. Now, in the Blender, what they're doing is they're just inserting the battery to hang anywhere in the region what we have in the volume. Okay, so we did not specifically create certain features for battery, but we need to create certain features for the motor. So motor is placed basically in the center of the assembly. Now if I just come back to our assembly and convert the shape of convert the entire top region into the shaded form, you can see it looks something like this, right? So we have reached to a level where we are almost defining the most important regions of the portable blender. Now technically the I'm sorry technically the motor is at the center. All right, it's at the center, so we need to have a hole in the enclosure, and your motor will be somewhat placed connected to the this region, the surface of the base, right? So it will be connected to this surface, and you'll be having a hole from which you'll be having the power shaft coming out. To this shaft you'll be mounting the blade that spins. All right, now what I'll be doing is, firstly I'll just convert this into shaded form. I'll activate this, and let us for now just create a hole in the center. Okay, and let us just assume that the diameter of the shaft which will be coming out will be somewhere around 0.5, but I'll be creating a hole of 0.6. all right, and I'll just change the direction so that it is to next, and this is how your assembly will look like. Now we have to create certain features over here that will allow us to mount the motor in its place. All right, so before that I'll just create a design that shows the overall volume of the motor. So I'll just go to a new part and type motor underscore blender. All right, now just remember I'm assuming that the shaft which is coming out is 0.5 diameter, which is pretty large, so I'll just reduce it for now to be around 0.3 will be the shaft diameter, but I'm maintaining a hole of 0.4. all right, now I'll just come back to other part where I've created motor blender. I'll just go to the right view, click on revolve, so you can see most of the designs are created with simple options. We do not work with blends and high level swept blends or surfacing for many of the appliances. So firstly this will be the shaft, which is 0.3 as I've said you, and let us consider it to be 1 inch. Then you have the motor. So I'm not working on the inner components of the motor, the gears and the magnetic wiring or any other stuff. Let's assume that the motor length is around 2 inches and the dia is around 1 inch or 1.5 inches, so this will be 0.75. and we have to just play with the volume of the motor, because once we create a rough shape we have to import it, and probably we have to see whether the volume allows us to create. There's some issue with the Creo when I'm working with revolve, I wonder why, so I'll just create this part later. And revolve it again. Firstly let me just add the center line, and I'll just maintain 0.15 by 1. all right, now I'll just save it in the working directory, go back to the assembly, and let me just import it in this shape itself, motor blender. So firstly I'll coincident these two surfaces. all right, and this surface will be connected with this surface, and these will be coincident. Now this looks pretty large to me, but I can consider it to be, this much. Let's just change it to be shaded first of all and understand, and also change the color to something else. Maybe I can reduce the diameter of the motor slightly. The first revolve, I'm sorry, I've selected some other part. Maybe 0.5. Yep, this looks like a good size to me. All right, and the shaft is protruding out largely, so I'll just reactivate it and edit the section, make it 0.5. Now what I'm planning is you know between the surface of between these two surfaces, the shaft and the enclosure or the motor cover, I'll add a rubber gasket. I'll add another part, okay, so that there is no leakage of the liquid what we are creating. All right, so technically the surface of the motor will not be touching the surface of this, it will be touching the gasket. All right, we will be adding it right away, but before that let me also explain you my plan for assembling the blade. So what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking to make a cut section right now and take a snip to explain you my plan. So what I'm thinking is, to mount the blade I'll make a hole over here, maybe 632, okay, tapped hole. Then I'll insert the blade, okay, the blade will be inserted. This will be your blade, okay, and then I'll be adding a screw on top. All right, so this will help me to mount the blade with the shaft, the spinning shaft. All right, so let's see if 632 diameter works for this or no, and I'll just open that separately for now. I'll go to the holes and select coaxial. First of all, select the surface, reduce the diameter, go to axis, select the axis, press OK, press play button, go to standard. In UNC I'll select 632. I'm just thinking everything to be 632 because in a bomb, if we have same screws, it will be easy to assemble and maintain the assembly lines as well. So this will be your tapped hole for now, okay, and your shaft will be spinning and it will be having a tapped hole. All right, and I'll just come back to the assembly. This is how it will look. And before creating the blade, I'll be creating a gasket over here. All right, so the diameter of the gasket should be such that it is 0.4 as outer diameter and 0.3 as inner diameter. All right, and let me just create it. Otherwise I can have a gasket from the top rather than being inserted from the bottom. I'll just insert it from the top itself, and I'll try to create the gasket slightly larger in size because I want an interference width so that it's tightly seated in its place. All right, so firstly I'll just create a new part, gasket, save it, and I said you the diameter should be around, I'll create from the top view, between 0.3 0.4. Let me just create 0.41, and I don't know how much should be the height. So what's this distance? I think it's 0.1. I'll just open this and go to results. 0.1. This should be 0.1, but I should have it extended from the sides. Point 0.6, 0.05. I think I should just follow the inner circle. Now let's try to add it to the assembly. Gasket. Keep it coincident. Here it is. Change the color of gasket to something rubberish. All right. Now I'll be working on adding the blade in the next video.